Welcome to Stillworks and Brewing. My name is Randy and this is the channel that's all about home distillation and brewing. Alright, so what do we got for you today? Well, today this is going to be kind of like a continuation of our last video, which I'll put a card up here for you, so you might want to check that out. What it's about is I had a lot of interest in how I run my still, and I call it running by the drip or running by output, whatever fits you the best. I'm going to kind of demonstrate how I actually run my still and how I run by the output of the still, not by temperature and all that. It's just my method. It's the way I do it. It works good for me. Give it a shot. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so the first step I'm going to do is, this is my diffuser plate. So you can see, there's my burner for my propane. And this will just fit right over there. And I'll show you something else, but that fits over there. So I got about that much gap between the flame and this plate. So that really does help. And like I said before, this is just a piece of 1/4-inch steel that I cut out. Okay. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you is that my diffuser plate. See this little lip around this still? Of when they, when they made it. This little lip. This fits right inside there to help transfer the heat up. My diffuser plate fits right inside there. Okay, I just want to show you that. So I'm filling my still pot. I like to use a siphon to transfer my mash over to my still pot and leave all that junk behind. Cleaner into the still, better off you are. Less chance of scorching anything. Okay, so tell you where I'm at now. I got my rye whiskey mash in my still pot. Okay, I stacked my still out. I got 2 rolls of copper in the bottom of the column. Okay, I got my pulse width modifier switch hooked up to the heating element in my still. Remember, I got my diffuser plate under the still, so let's get some fire underneath. Alright, I'll get that going. Okay, so I got fire underneath. Okay, so I'm going to turn my... There we go. PWM, pulse width modifier switch on. Now you'll notice I'm only going to turn... I usually turn right around 5 amps here for right this minute. Okay? And then I'll tell you what I do after that. I kind of got like a... not full blast on the propane, somewhere around medium, and then I got it low setting on my electric. So what I want to happen now is I want the fluid, that mash that's in my still pot, I want it to start to move, because as you warm it up, hot rises, cold falls, so it's going to start moving the mash inside the pot. And once you get that stuff start to move, you have a lot less of potential of scorching. Okay, I did not put my thermometer in up top yet, but I will. I did set a stopwatch to see how long. This is an 8-gallon pot. It's got about 6 gallons worth of mash in there, so we'll see how long it takes to heat up in this method. Alright, so once we get a little closer, I'll be back. Okay, just to tell you where we're at, is my pot temperature is about 150. And as you just seen, I'm getting 1 or 2 drops every, right there. Now if you smell it, it's very pungent. It's just like fingernail polish. So that's I'm going to collect the first, let's say, 6 ounces at least off. And whoop, you got a drip there coming down from the leak there. Condensation on the outside of the condenser. Alright, but that is definitely coming to drip off of there because it smells. I am getting a little bit of condensation coming off the condenser now. So, that's where I'm at now. My pot temperature, like I said, is climbing up on about 160. Okay? Where am I at? Well, my pot temperature is about 175. So I know, because you get to learn your still. So I know that she's going to start producing pretty darn soon. I mean, I'm getting a few drops. So, what do I want to do? What I want to do now is I'm going to start cutting the heat on the propane. So I'm going to cut that off. And I'm going to switch over to 100% electric. Okay, now all my stuff's moving in my still pot. I can start moving it. I'm going to put I got about 8 amps going into my heating element. So, I got about 100 degrees up on my head temperature. But don't walk, like I've said this thousands of times, but don't walk away now because she's getting ready to climb, and that head temperature, if I feel my column, it's starting to get warmed up. Okay, I mean it's hot to the touch right up to here. Right, so it's getting ready to start rising up my column, and she will start producing pretty good. Okay, any minute my head temperature is going to climb up to 180, and then it'll stay there for a good long time. Okay, alright, you can see she's starting to drip a little bit faster. I turned up my PD pulse width modifier switch. I'm up to 7.7 amps going into the heating element. And I'm getting right close to 180 on my pot temperature. So it's like that close. You'll start to see it start coming on. Okay? But my biggest thing is, like I said, I run by the output. So if you put the output and the temperature gauges together, you'll have a successful run. Okay? So a couple more minutes, but it's getting close. I mean, if you smell this, it's very, very, very pungent. So like I said before, I'm going to collect the first, I don't know, 6 ounces off. Okay, as you can see, I mean that head temperature climbed right up at 170 degrees. What I did is I cut back a little bit on the heat a little bit. So I want to get this back down to where a little bit slower than what she is right now. So if you notice, see it's a broken stream, drip, 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 broken stream. I will probably turn it up just a hair. Because I'm getting a little bit of residual heat out of that diffuser plate, but that should be getting to temperature. So now what I'll do is just creep up on the energy going into the heating element. Just about like that. In a stream, and then it will break up and stream. Okay? So, we're going to collect the first 6 ounces off. And then we're going to switch over to collection jars, and we will also check the ABV right at the spout, and that's the way I like to do it, and I'll show you how that's done. Okay, we almost got our 6 ounces. Well, actually we do have our 6 ounces. 6 ounces. Let me swap that out. So what do I got? I run my still off of 110 volts. This is a 110 volt pulse width modifier switch. Right now I'm putting 5.2 amps into my heating element, which is I believe it's an 1875 watt heating element. It worked very well for me. I forgot to check the time. Okay, from cold to this point, 51 minutes. So that's not too awful bad. 51 minutes to start collecting product. If you smell that, oh, it smells so good. It smells so good. Now, I just know for a fact, if I take a sample right out of the spout, this is a refractometer made for ABV. Now, yeah, see, it's above, where is that? It's above 140 proof, so I can't really, this only goes up to 80 proof. So, we're going to be here for a while. Alright. So what I'll do is keep checking it right at the spout. And then I know there's no smearing because it only takes a couple drops. I do like this refractometer. And I've double checked it with using a blast hydrometer, and actually you can dial these in. I have checked it and it's pretty darn accurate, to be honest with you. Up to 80%. Anything over 80% I can't check, but that's okay. Okay, so I'll be back. Okay, you want to see textbook. Drop, 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 spurt. Drop, 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 spurt. That to me is where I love to see it going. Okay. Okay, so we're, like I said, we're in our first jar of this run. Drip to drip spurt, that's perfect. So at this point in time, temperature in the pot don't matter anymore. Like I said before, I've said in other videos, the temperature gauge in the pot is going to tell me what's going to happen soon. Okay, once it gets up to, let's say, 175, 180, I know it's going to start producing. So I can keep a watch out for it, and then about 180 something, you'll see my head temperature will rise up, and it is right at 180, and it will hang out there for a long time. Okay, so like I said, I don't pay no more attention to the temperature in the pot. So now I'm watching the drip, I'm watching the head temperature. What you will have to do, it'll be a while before I do it, is you'll notice it stops producing as much. So you have to turn, because the chemistry inside the pot's changing, so I'll have to put more energy in the pot to keep it producing. Okay, which will raise your head temperature. And I found once I get to about 200 at head temperature, 202, somewhere in that 204, I'm about done. Okay, but let's just take a double check on, and I will keep checking with the refractometer rate coming out of the spout. See what I got. I'm at 120, and it just stays there. Let me give it a little. Tastes good. Wow, that's really good. This is going to be some good rye whiskey. I'm looking forward to this because I don't have no rye whiskey left. Alright, so we're going to be here for a little while. But we're still running, and I did have to turn up the heat, the power, the energy going into the element to maintain the dripping here as I want the output. So this is what I call distilling by the output. Okay. Now, so we got this keep running. Head temperature is about 195. So we got a little while to go yet, but I want to see So let's take a little sample right out of the spout. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we're looking at about 40, almost 45%. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll just keep going until you just keep going to where you don't want to collect no more. I normally, once I get to 40 ABV, I might cut down to smaller jars, do half a jars or something, because it's going to change for me. That's just the way I've done it. Okay. Taste wise right now, very, very good. That's going to be a good rye whiskey. Okay, so like I said, this is how I do distilling by the drip. Okay. Well, I hope you got at least one thing out of this video. I mean, I got some nice rye whiskey that I'm going to have. So I hope you enjoyed it. This is just my technique, the way I do it. Everybody does it a little bit different. I don't think there's no wrong way of doing it. You know, it's just the way you do it. Okay? So the last thing I got to say. Hey, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time here on Stillworks and Brewing.